Welcome, everyone. It is still September the 17th, and we have all the crazy news, you guys. 2024, you really are outdoing yourself. And welcome, Wolfram. Thank you for your mod duties. And Christine, thank you so much for being on the replay crew. And I hope everything goes absolutely fine. And, everything is just absolutely, easy healing and smooth sailing. Welcome, Squid Pro Quo, Alice G, and everyone who's lurking. I hope you had a great day. Well, we will start off with the pallets of Astroglide. Welcome, Slinky. Or as I like to call it, no, I think we'll just call it the palette of Astroglide case or the Sean Diddy Combs case. Now, you know what I do love? I like these core artists who only have the vaguest idea of what the person looks like and just kind of makes their own guesstimations because this, very strapping man with, a thick neck is in no way, actual P. Diddy. Just kills me. I need to be a court reporter artist. I mean, I have the vaguest idea of how to color. Anywho, Sean Diddy Combs forced victims into freak-offs, smex sessions with male gentlemen of the night. Can we say gigolos? I mean, is gigolo an okay word, or do we have to call them males of the night? I don't know. I feel like I'm probably going to get dinged for saying gigolo, but I don't know what else to say. Let's see. Sean Diddy Combs forced women into sick, freak-off sexual sessions with male men of the evening that were often recorded while the male producer, loved himself. According to a bombshell indictment that dropped just today, the music mogul 54 has been hit with a federal trafficking and racketeering charges. He allegedly got his female victims into days-long X-rated performances as part of his alleged pattern of abuse dating back more than a decade, Manhattan federal prosecutors said. Quote, freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances of a sexual nature that Combs arranged, directed, and loved himself to. Often these, freak-offs were recorded according to newly unsealed court papers. Men of negotiable affections. There you go. Now, Combs would allegedly lure the women into his orbit, often under the pretense of romantic relationships, before doling out not straight legal pharmaceuticals to, quote, keep victims obedient and compliant, the indictment charged. The regular occurring freak-offs would last for days, and Combs and the victims would often receive IV fluids in the aftermath to recover from physical exertion and those drug uses. What? Welcome, Farrell. Long time no see. I hope you are doing well. Okay, so now his employees allegedly helped facilitate the freak-offs by arranging travel, booking hotel rooms where these freak-offs would take place, stocking the room with supplies, including those not street legal pharmaceuticals, baby oil, lubricants, and extra linens. Well, at least they didn't make housekeeping take care of this because, ugh. Combs also had his security staff carry weapons, and when the feds raided his homes in Miami and Los Angeles, they found 3 AR-15 with defaced serial numbers, other firearms ammunition, and a drum magazine, the indictment alleges. Again, I'm not quite sure if the serial number wasn't scratched off. I really don't care that, he had firearms. Combs would often keep videos of a sensitive, embarrassing, or incriminating, nature of these sessions, and sometimes the victims would not know that they were being filmed, and he basically had his own island of ill repute, only his island was mobile and in hotel rooms. So definitely getting he was getting blackmail material on many people. During a raid of Combs' mansion in Miami and Los Angeles earlier this year, the feds allegedly seized some of the so-called freak-off supplies. And this is where things get absolutely damn ridiculous. Uh, the the man had 1,000 bottles of personal lubricant. Now, I can only imagine the poor little intern that had to go down to, I don't know, Smex R Us or whatever to get the 1,000 bottles of Astroglide. But could you imagine you're the unpaid intern that has to go get all of these supplies, the Lysol wipes and Purell? Look, I would quit right away. Now, the indictment against Combs was unsealed after he was arrested at Park Hyatt, New York in Manhattan late Monday, some 6 months after the feds raided his property. I mean, if they have the goods on him, and I have heard from multiple different lawyers that the feds generally do not bring cases which they cannot win. So they probably have all the CVS 3-mile long receipts on Mr. Combs. I just don't know who he pissed off, because they've known about this sort of behavior for 10 years. What changed? Why did they finally go after him? I mean, that's my question, and it really does seem to be one that needs to be asked, because if the feds were aware of this for 10 years, what is the actual reason for going after him now? I mean, unless they didn't have, enough proof, but it seems like if you are the federal government, you could have found proof, I don't know, 9 years ago, so there were less victims. But, who am I to bring up logic and, paying attentionness? So these are some of the firearms that were found. It seems to be very odd, the timing of this. Now, Combs' arrest comes after he was hit with a flurry of lawsuits in the past year by people who allege he subjected them to physical or SA during the height of his fame as a producer in the 1990s and 2000s. He was first accused of a years-long pattern of domestic and all the violence, okay? Against his former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie Ventura, in a federal lawsuit she filed against him last November. Combs is expected to be arraigned later Tuesday or later today. Combs was arrested by Homeland Security as part of a federal, trafficking investigation. Now, I do have a question. State of New York, Judicial District of Northern New York, or wherever you are, is this going to be another RICO case in which people were trafficked to no one? Because I seem to remember, Ghislaine over here absolutely, trafficking people to no one. Are we actually going to figure out who, Sean Diddy Combs decided to, blackmail? Are we going to learn anything about the people related to this? Because I really don't think that the American people can deal with one more of, we found the greatest predator. We just can't tell you who he, sent these people to. Because look, I don't want Ghislaine Maxwell to get out, but how can she be convicted of trafficking victims to no one? No one else in relation to the Epstein case has ever been charged. And I think Americans, even normies, are waking up to this fact that the powers that be seem to be okay with getting the figurehead, but not going after the entire thing, because that would indict people they know. Allegedly in Minecraft. This is simply my conjecture, but I do have a question, especially in an election year, as to why this is now suddenly a case. And I could be wrong. I could be totally looking at this through full Dale Gribble kind of, mindset. But it does make you question things when, again, we have a RICO charge for one damn person. How do you become a RICO of one? Anywho, it I don't know if they covered this under lawyer ethics or, lawful law class, but threatening to unalive someone while holding a force multiplier to their head is apparently illegal, one Florida lawyer is learning. I will end you, Florida lawyer who held a force multiplier to wife's head allegedly had a long history of violence, police said. Well, I mean, with those Manson lamps, I'm sure he's gonna do well in Gen Pop. He just seems like the person that's gonna, I don't know, pop off at the mouth thinking he's a lawyer and people might not like it. A Florida attorney is accused of holding a weapon to his wife's head after laying hands on her, has a long history of DV, according to police. Andrew Zelmanowitz, 42, is accused of second-degree felony robbery, depriving a victim of medical care, misdemeanor assault, Miami-Dade County records show. According to a local ABC affiliate, WPLG, Zelmanowitz's wife went to the police on Wednesday and told them that he had continuously laid hands on her and things escalated. The station, citing an arrest report, said that the violence began around 6:15 on Wednesday when Zelmanowitz's wife, who is not identified in the story, asked him to read a note to her. Zelmanowitz arose from the bed, grabbed her he gave her a neck hug to wake her up, and then began laying hands on her, the arrest report says. According to WPLG, it resulted in her head striking the television. Now, the attorney's wife reportedly tried to call 911 while he continued to lay hands on her, the report says. He forcefully pulled his wife's phone from her hand. When she tried to run, he allegedly shoved her into a closet, causing her to, again, crash into shelves and things like that. Then he allegedly continued with verbal threats, alleging, I will end you, things like that. I do have a Venmo. I have a Cash App. I don't have a Venmo because I can't work any of these things. I think I have no idea. I will tell you guys, I am coming out of a flare, so I am still a little fuzzy even days after. So I will get that up by morning, but I'm not going to stop to try to zoodle it now. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wolfram. I appreciate it. I'm like, you guys, I don't know how to do any of this by my own self. That's why I love my mods, because I am more honest than Lynette that, she says, hey, I'm just computer illiterate. And the next thing she knows, she's, dropping emails all over the place. Now, again, this seems to have just escalated and escalated. Now, the wife had done a fairly brave but dangerous thing had she been caught. Apparently, she took all freedom seeds out of weapons that were in her home because she knew of her husband's proclivity for violence. So she probably saved her own life, but I'm sure she was scared to death when she took those freedom seeds out. I absolutely bet she was shaking to death and she was scared for her life. Now, she was able to finally flee, and police reported seeing bruises on her forearms and upper arms. Zelmanowitz was arrested Thursday after getting home from work. Police reportedly said he tried to leave as a police car approached, but he was pulled over. WPLG reported that the couple, I don't say unfortunately because children are a blessing no matter what situation they're born into. There is a reason that child is here on the earth. It doesn't have to be for a grand reason. It could be that, they'll just be a really good person or just a semi good person who's trying their best. So I'm not saying, unfortunately, they did have children, or they do have children. It looks like, fortunately, they did not witness the attack. Now, he was reportedly booked into the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center on a $6,000 bond. Records indicate that he is no longer in custody. He was issued a stay-away order as part of his pre-trial release conditions. Now, ma'am, his soon-to-be ex-wife, take it from me, ma'am, run. I don't know how you feel about force multipliers. And I think you are brave as hell for removing those freedom seeds. But this man has already shown that he has no problem breaking laws. And if you feel like you can handle it, get some training at a range and stay strapped, because this man sounds like someone who does not like his authority challenged. You have gone to the police. You have outed him as an utter scumbag. He will want retribution, and a piece of paper isn't going to stop him. Now, I am not advocating. I just realized I still have Monet on there. Yay for ADHD. But this man is not going to stop with a piece of paper. And I wish that there was an option, that there was something set up that absolutely women could get free range and free, defense lessons. But please make sure that you are protected. And you can take me for a grain of salt. Whichever way you decide to protect yourself, just protect yourself. You are in Florida. I say get all of the things, but this is a personal choice. I am just telling you, do not rely on that piece of paper. Get a good support group. Do not let him back in. I don't care how much time he cries. I don't care how much he says he's going to be different. I don't care how much times he says, oh, but look what you made me do. Shove that attitude in the trash can and you mama bear up. You honey badger up, because you know what? These kids deserve a mama who's there, and you are the shield for your kids. So even if it's outside your comfort zone, make sure you take care and protect yourself, ma'am. And absolutely, you saved your own life by taking those bullets away from the weapons. And I know how scared you were when you did that. I've been there. Okay. Not the same situation, but I have been in a situation like that. You walk through it. Now start kicking more ass. You saw it did not end in disaster. Take another step towards being brave. Take one more step. It can be a small one, but there are so many people out here that are going to help you. So please do not rely just on a no contact order. That's my soapbox minute. I love that I just mother the entire internet. I am going to need all Lord Chippy operators to be on standby, because we have an absolutely dumpster fire story. This absolutely alleged gross human being, a California teacher accused of fathering a student's child decades ago, and the school did nothing. Are we shocked? A California teacher is expected to lose his job, well, only 2 decades late, after 2 former students have come forward to accuse him of SA. Lexington Junior High School band director Steve Graves, 61, is accused of SAing 2 students in the 1980s. Anaheim Union High School District recently announced that school officials have begun the process of firing Graves, who is now on administrative leave. Manley, Stewart, and Finaldi The law firm representing the two victims told Fox News Digital that the abuse began in 1986 while Graves taught at Loara High School in Anaheim. The teacher would have been around 23 or 24 years old at that particular time. Both of the women were 16 when they were essayed. One of the victims, who asked to be identified as Rico, told Fox 11 Los Angeles she gave birth to Graves' child when she was 17. Rieko transferred to another school after becoming pregnant and giving birth. Nearly 4 decades later, she connected with another victim through social media, and the two began sharing their stories. The Anaheim Police Department is involved in the investigation, but no charges against Graves have been filed yet. The women are planning to pursue a civil suit against him. Attorney Morgan Stewart told Fox 11 Los Angeles that he has proof that supervisors knew that Graves was a predator, yet kept him on for the past 30 plus years, but has not released the evidence publicly. In a statement shared with Fox News Digital, the school district said it was, quote, shocked, saddened, and upset to learn of the credible allegations. Once the district became aware of this situation at the end of August, Graves was placed on administrative leave and removed from campus. Well, I'm glad it only took 30 years. Oh, daggone it. I'm not even on the thing. This absolute douche canoe. Okay, no, and you know what? I better see administrators in handcuffs for this. If there is credible proof that these administrators knew that this PDF file was in the high school and they did nothing, I better see some administrations fall. I am so done with this. I am so done with public schools covering this up, because I know we like to joke about, priests and all that, but the systematic abuse of children that goes on in public schools is absolutely disgusting. And they move these teachers around just like the Catholic Church used to do. They know about it. And if administrations don't start to fall over this stuff, then every parent should homeschool or have their children in a private school. Starve the teachers' unions until they get this under control. Vote with your wallets. I just can't. Now, they do say that they are completely cooperating with the Anaheim Police Department as they investigate this incident to identify other possible incidences of inappropriate behavior, harassment, or sexual misconduct by Graves. I don't believe it. I don't believe that in either. So, say he was just a 24-year-old off the street and this child was 16, I still believe that that would have been considered a felony back then. But because you have that extra level of, a power dynamic and authority, I believe that it would have been charged more harshly back then. And thank you, Philip, for joining us. Okay, let's see here. Fox News Digital reached out to the Anaheim Police Department for more information. However, they did not respond. So this will be a case that I'm looking at, because my guess is that there are going to be many, many victims, since he had 40 plus years to have a predator, basically a wolf in the fox den or in the chicken house. You know what I mean? Carry on. Thank you, Rogue Mama, for gifting 1 membership, and that went to yourself. So double congratulations. That rarely happens. And I feel absolutely terrible for the girl that had to have this man's child. Again, I truly believe that all children are here to serve a purpose. I don't expect you guys to follow my thoughts, but What a horrible thing to love your child, but also have him be a living example of your abuse. And I know wonderfully, I mean, this woman sounds like a wonderfully strong woman who was able to divorce those two concepts. But what a terrible burden to have to bear when you are only 17. And that's why this man must be punished. In the name of justice, I punish you. Um, well, if you guys have been hankering for some Grimace, apparently Purple Place, the Mets unveiled the new Grimace seat at Citi Field. This is about the only thing I know about sports ball. I do know Grimace. Finally, sports that speak to me through Happy Meals. Fenway Park has the Ted Williams seat, and now Citi Field has the Grimace seat. The kid-friendly McDonald's character made another appearance at the ballpark Monday when the New York Mets unveiled the commemorative purple seat in section 302 to honor his special connection to Mets fans. Wait a minute. So Mets fans are connected with Grimace? I didn't know that Grimace was a mascot for anyone. Learn something new every day. Wearing his pear-shaped purple costume and a baseball glove on backwards, Grimace threw out a funny-looking first pitch as best as he could with those furry mitts before New York beat the Miami Marlins at Citi Field on June 12th. That victory began a 7-game winning streak, and Grimace, the Mets' good luck charm, soon went viral, taking on a life of its own online. New York is 53-31 since June 12th. Wait, baseball is still going on? Okay, that's it, y'all. I need someone to make a calendar of when sports ball events are going on because I am confused. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was football time, not baseball time. This is why I shouldn't comment on sports, but I saw Grimace and I just couldn't resist. Let's see here. The best record in the majors during that span. The Mets were tied with rival Atlanta for the last National League playoff spot as they opened their final homestand of the season Monday night against Washington. The new Grimace seat is on the second deck in the right field, located in row 6, seat 12, to signify 6/12 on the calendar, and was brought into Shannon Ford press conference room Monday afternoon. The character posed next to the chair with fans who strolled into the room. The seat is available for purchase for each of the Mets' remaining home game. It's been great to see how our fan base created the Grimace phenomenon following his first pitch in June and in the months since. Mets Senior Vice President of Partnership, Brendan Millett, said in a news release, as we explored how to further capture the magic of this moment and celebrate our new celebrity fan, installing a commemorative seat ahead of Fan Appreciation Weekend felt like the perfect way to give something back to the fans in a fun and unique way. Well, yeah, but it's nearly fall, Wolfram. Baseball should be done. When is rhythmic gymnastics for all of us fans? Because I am here and I want my ribbon thingy, and we will just practice being not graceful. Okay, let's see here. Up in Boston, the famous Ted Williams seat is painted bright red among rows of deep green chairs in the right field stands at Fenway Park to mark where a reported 502-foot homer hit by Hall of Fame legend landed in June 1946. So does this catapult Grimace into splendid splinter territory? Quote, I don't know if we put him on the same level, Mets Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer Andy Goldberg said with a grin. It's just been a fun year, and at the same time, we've been playing great ball. Ever since the end of May, we've been crushing it, he explained, so I think that added to the mystique. Well, there you go. I feel like Grimace should bring me some chicken nuggets right now with one barbecue sauce, one sweet and sour. Actually, no, give me all the barbecue sauces and all the sweet and sour because I have been, denied some of these packets of condiments, at multiple times when I go to McDonald's. So I would like all the sauce packets now. Thank you. Um, well, looks like pink cocaine woman is going to stay in jail until her trial. Who'da thunk it? I guess having a pretty face doesn't get you out of crime. I think she's extremely dangerous. Judge keeps Instagram model locked up after the deadly alleged pink, Colombian nose powder fueled crash and sides with prosecutors before the trial. Look at her. This is the face of a chick who has never heard the word no. She's like, but I'm cute. She is very confused. You can tell she is like, I don't understand this reality. Florida prosecutor successfully moved for pretrial detainment of an Instagram model who allegedly killed two men in a crash while behind the wheel of a Mercedes under the influence of, quote, pink cocaine. As a judge remarked that she sees the defendant as extremely dangerous. Macy Lathers, 24, appeared at Miami-Dade County Courtroom jail Oranges on Monday and looked at Judge Teresa Pooler when she said, I think she's extremely dangerous, and denied her bond. WPLG reported a matter of days after prosecutors slapped her with a DUI manslaughter charge and brought an end to her stint on house arrest. As Long Crime reported, Lathers, a self-described Instagram model from New York, on August the 10th allegedly ran a red light in Miami while just out of her mind on goof of balls, okay? Around 7 a.m., she slammed her Mercedes into a Suzuki, and unfortunately, Abraham Molina and his friend Jesus Rubio basically died instantly in the crash. They were on their way to work. Fortunately and unfortunately, Molina's fiance, Juanita Hernandez, survived. So on the one hand, she survived this incredibly horrific accident, but she also lost the love of her life and a friend. So it's not a great situation for anyone. Minutes later, Lathers told the cops that she was, quote, from the future. Are you still an ass in the future, ma'am? Just asking for a friend. Did you grow any brains from the future? Body cam footage showed Lathers vomiting in the street after the crash and at one point screaming and telling officers, my name is Mercedes. I'm from the future, she said, also referencing a crystal ball. Awesome and amazing, a male officer at the scene replied. Are you on drugs? Seems like a logical question. In the video, cops could be heard saying that Lathers had acknowledged being on a ketamine-based party drug known as Tootsie or 2C, or otherwise known as pink coke. Now, Lathers was allegedly driving without a valid driver's license at 57 miles per hour just moments before the crash, then had hit the accelerator at 100%, ramping up her speed to 78 miles per hour, causing the deadly collision, a crash that she reportedly didn't remember in the hours after her arrest. After toxicology reports came back, prosecutors filed a DUI manslaughter several DUI manslaughter charges due to the deaths of both Molina and Rubio and moved to detain Lathers. Lathers initially posted bail after pleading not guilty to the charges of vehicular homicide, reckless driving, driving on a suspended license, and leaving the scene of the crash. Now, call me crazy and maybe I'm an a-hole here, but I thought once we had Lyft and Uber and you could basically order a car from your little cellular device right here, that we would no longer have a-holes that decided to drive themselves while high and or drunk. But it seems like more of these a-holes seem to be getting in their cars here lately than using Lyft or Uber. I don't get it. Now, just absolutely gross, and I can't wait to I'm sorry, it is small, it is petty of me, but I love the look of utter confusion on her face right now when she realizes that actions have consequences, that she's not gonna be able to, post in a bikini to get out of this. And I am not I am not saying Slinky, thank you for being a member for 9 months, and ooh, happy Constitution Day. Awesome. And I am saying this with a slight bit of jealousy. Look, if I had her body, y'all, I would be in some of the most ridiculous outfits that would even, I'm sure make Anna Nicole Smith on her best day jealous. All right. This is why God kept me fluffy. I cannot be, trusted with my goal weight. It's just not going to happen. I'm just kidding. I am working on you know, deflating a bit, but this woman has obviously traded on her looks. She's never been told no. She's always found sycophants, and now she's going to have actual consequences. And the problem is when you raise children or when people are allowed to get away for so long, they don't end up making small mistakes. They end up making mistakes that cannot be reversed. When you live without consequences for so long, you begin to think there are no consequences until real life happens. And it's absolutely just terrifying that this happened. Well, she already seems to be okay with, all of the rugs. In international news, and generally I do not cover the Middle East, but this is a big story and it does have some frightening implications depending on what the eventual cause of all of these, pagers exploding in Lebanon actually turns out to be, what the root cause. A wave of exploding pagers in Lebanon and Syria uh, leads to the death of 8, including members of Hezbollah. So this is looking coordinated. This is looking like there was something that was also looks like something that was obviously coordinated, and no one is really taking full credit yet. But allusions are being made that Israel was behind this, or Mossad, or whomever, or it does seem coordinated. Pagers used by hundreds of members of the militant group Hezbollah exploded nearly simultaneously in Lebanon and Syria on Tuesday, killing at least 9 people. Sadly, an 8-year-old girl was, caught in this, and wounding several thousand, officials said. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government blamed Israel for what appeared to be a sophisticated remote attack. Among those wounded was Iran's ambassador to Lebanon. The mysterious incident came amid rising tensions between, Israel and Iran backed Hezbollah, which they've been engaging in sort of back and forth, missile fire since October 7th of, this past year. So it's basically Mesopotamia is still a mess. What I think is a little bit terrifying and scary is if this was a malware-based attack, almost all of us have one of these in our pockets or on our purse or something like that. And if beepers can be rigged like this, then what is stopping someone from using internet magic that I have no idea how one would use to make cell phones turn on their owners? Now, I don't know all of the internet and, codey, hackery things that you have to do. It does look like all of the beepers that were affected, or pagers that were affected, were from a relatively new shipment. So, I mean, it does look like they were either tampered with or something happened. Either they were all slightly tweaked. I'm not sure. They don't know. I'm not going to give you guys, you know, I am not going to give you guys fake information or speculation because that's what the talking heads do. But I will tell you this is something that you really need to maybe pay attention to. This is not a doom and gloom channel, but things are really shaping up that, like Stick says, if you are able to, if you have the means, stock up on a little bit of non perishable food just in case the ish goes down, okay? And not only that, but winter is coming. If you live out in the sticks like I do, fall thunderstorms can put trees over the road, can, really make it hard to get it out all the time. So just having some non-perishable supplies. I don't think we all need to run out and buy toilet paper, okay? But again, just having some general supplies should be okay. That that would be that's just mean, Wolfram, and against the Geneva Convention. In interesting science news, there is a battle brewing over blood tests for cancer. My guess is that insurance doesn't want to pay for them. Blood tests for cancer detection, known as liquid biopsies, can still be unreliable, but progress is being made. Competition between different diagnostic companies is intensifying. You guys, whichever company gets this technology figured out first is going to rake in all the money. Can you imagine? And I'm kind of okay with this because if we can have less invasive, tests that detect problems, it would be really great, especially when, a lot of sort of these silent cancers, think ovarian cancer, think colon cancer, really are silent killers. They really don't have a lot of, symptomology until you are in the very final stages. So if we could make blood tests that figure things out, that would be a major boon. In July, the Food and Drug Administration approved Shield, a colorectal cancer blood test developed by the technological company Guardant Health. Shield became the first blood test approved by the FDA as a preliminary screening option for colorectal cancer that meets performance requirements for Medicare coverage, the company announced at the time, but its first mover advantage might not last very long as competitor Exact Sciences, which sells Cologuard stool test for the same disease, announced positive data for its blood-based study on Monday that arguably beat Guardian's test. Interesting. The company reported that its test caught 88.3% of cancers while detecting 31.2% of advanced adenomas or precancerous polyps. Catching these polyps early is important because they could turn into cancer if left undetected. That's why colonoscopies are still the gold standard. A doctor can preemptively and painlessly remove polyps during the procedure. In larger studies, the Guardian and Freenome, an other biotechnology company, detected advanced angiomas less than 15% of the time. They could give Exact Sciences a major advantage. On Monday, so a lot of this goes into sort of more technical financial stuff. But what I will tell you is this is exciting. A lot of people skip the, maybe screening tests because they don't want to deal with the discomfort, the general embarrassment of having a scope, put up your region, your, behind a region. So if we had a blood test, while it's not always reliable, it could be an indicator that yes, you definitely need a, colonoscopy, and the doctor can tell you to your face that this is the reason why, instead of some nebulous, you're at this age, so you should do it. So I would just be I am very excited about some of these things, and I think this is where people don't understand that we cannot have a nationalized healthcare system because we are the innovators of medicine. There's a reason that, all the other countries kind of glom onto us and can have this national, these national health systems. They do not invest in medical advancements the way, America does. Thank you, Slidey Pie. I had so much fun, although I do really, 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 really hope, and I am trying not to be rude or anything like that because I honestly don't care about Mr. Bruce. That being said, he is welcome to say whatever the hell he wants from me or about me or to me, but just keep my kids out of this, okay? I am warning everyone. I really don't care what you think about me. I really don't care what you say about me. But you bring my kids into anything and we are going to have an issue. So I figured after hearing Megan and Tug's, terrifying story, I would just like to put out there that, don't mess with Mo. I have explained to you how honey badgers work, and I have plenty of wigs. I will find one that looks good with orange. I'm just kidding, you guys, but seriously, leave people's kids out of it. I don't get that. I really, really don't. Well, to make the people of Ohio feel a little bit better, um, Ohio City's probe finds that there is no alligator on the loose after reported sightings. So there you go. No alligators in Ohio. Let's hope. Officials in an Ohio city said they do not believe that there is an alligator on the loose at a local park after reported sightings set off 2 days of searching. This cannot be a real city. If so, I need a t-shirt from here. The city of Beaver Creek said local police received a report Sunday about a potential alligator sighting at Dominic Lafino Park. The teenage witness snapped photos of the purported reptile, and his mother, Megan Stanley, posted the pictures on social media. He sent me pictures and said, "That looks like an alligator. You need to get it off the bank wherever you're at. Call the police," his mother said. The sighting sparked an investigation and a search of the park by police and Ohio Department of Natural Resources officer. The city said Tuesday that officials are now convinced that there is no gator on the loose. Well, that's good. Squaw Bob, the gator's only issue is that he went to Gary, Indiana, so now he's leather boot. Quote, additionally, no further sightings have been reported to the police or city staff, despite an increase in visitors to the park. Based on these findings, officials believe that there is no alligator in the pond. Well, that makes sense. In our final story, if 2024 is getting too much for you, it's not the sweet, sweet asteroid of death that we were promised. But the NASSholes are telling us that a fast-moving, stadium-sized asteroid is approaching Earth tonight. So, but they also partnered with Boeing to put people up into space. So I'm just saying, sweet, sweet oblivion may be coming to us. I'm just kidding. I'm sure they've got math, or God, I hope they have math people that check and double check their work. Again, they did side with Boeing, so I don't know, you guys, I don't know. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory has issued a warning for a monstrous asteroid that is expected to rocket past Earth on Tuesday evening. Dubbed 2024 ON, the celestial space rock measures 950 feet in diameter and is approximately the size of a football stadium. The entity is being monitored by the Virtual Telescope Project, which captured the potentially hazardous asteroid on September 9th, zipping along at nearly 25,000 miles per hour. You know, just wandering through the solar system as one does. Despite 2024 ON's intimidating size and speed, it's expected to pass about 621,000 miles away from Earth, distance from Earth, or about 2.6 times further out than the moon's average distance, Yahoo News reported. If it deviates from its current trajectory, however, this could have major consequences, per The Independent. The intergalactic gravel stone first passed by Earth in 2013 and is not expected to make a comeback until the year 2035. Asteroid 2024 is one of the 5 asteroids that were observed passing close to home of late, with others ranging between a house and airplane-sized asteroid. The closest pass was within 326,000 miles of our planet yesterday, a safe distance per NASA Solar System Ambassador Brenda Culberson. Again, Brenda, I am not trying to disparage you, but again, your company, our government, decided to trust Boeing with anything. I'm just throwing that out there, Brenda. It's not that we don't believe you personally, Brenda. It's just that your company, or your leadership tends to have terrible discernment. These interstellar pebbles are near-Earth asteroids, or NEOs, which NASA defines as larger than 460 feet across and boasting orbits that bring them within 4.6 million miles of Earth's orbit around the sun. So here you go. Looks like we've got, ideas of where this could come and go. Fortunately, there's no need to brace for Armageddon anytime soon. Squash my dreams, why don't you, assholes? There is no known significant danger of impact for the next century or so, per the Space Organization. So there you go. We are most likely not going to have to call on the power of Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, though Ben Affleck could want to be sent to an asteroid right now. I'm just saying. All I can see is Ben Affleck in that meme pose, and he's like, fuck it, I'll go and I'll stay behind. Don't get Bruce, or don't get, Buscemi. I'll just stay. Any hoozle, you guys, I will see you in the morning, and then tomorrow we will be starting the 83-page Judge Smackdown of the DA, Linda Stanley, in the Suzanne Morphew case, because if the 20-page, claims of shenanigans was enlightening, I am sure that the judge's smackdown is going to be insane. I will be bringing all the petty. I do not like prosecutors that make, future cases impossible to, adjudicate because they want to run their mouth, they want to talk to YouTubers, or they would just like to do a terrible job. I dislike that so much. And beyond the Susan Morphew case, she actually put into jeopardy the tragic case, really just a god-awful case of a 10-month-old losing his life because she decided to run her mouth and give all sorts of speculation about both defendants. That case is in real jeopardy. And if that's not the grossest thing I have ever heard, I don't know what else to tell you. But we will still look at the bright and petty side of things. So join us for another journey into the pettyverse with Mo tomorrow after Mornings with Mo. I will see you guys in the morning. Have a lovely evening. I don't know who is on right now, but you are free to go wherever you want. I am not making choices for you tonight. uh, Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you guys in the morning. Bye, guys.